Right. Well, this is Starbirds. I thought this was an interesting continuation of my factory game playthroughs. It's not really playthrough, but factory game reflections. Starbirds is made by Kirkscott and Kirkscott. Thank you. They're kind of a captured entity. They do a lot of environmental catastrophism stuff, but they also do some interesting sciencey things and stellar things, and so I don't know. I'm kind of split on my opinion of them, but they made this demo and.
Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you make videos?
That's a good question. Why do I make videos? I feel like people appreciate my thoughts about things. It makes you happy when what?
When I watch your videos when you work on Apple.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna make a video about this. I was gonna play the prologue. I think. Oh yeah, here we go.
This is what
Hmm?
This is
Yeah, it's the same intro for everybody.
that guy's trying to eat that.
He's trying to get a mango.
Because it's like the only food.
It's kind of weird though, because birds, these are birds, right? Birds don't, well, I guess they sometimes eat fruit, but mangoes are a mammal fruit. Like they're fruits that mammals eat. I do love this intro scene with the huge scale and everything. It's very cool. We are mammals, but birds are not mammals.
That was like a special type of mango.
A special bird mango. And then I'm not sure, so that was cool. I like the prologue. The intro, I'm not sure what to make of it. Like it's a little odd. It's clearly setting up some sort of narrative, and I think it's referencing characters in his videos. Like I think all of these characters show up in the videos, and so this is kind of a backstory or a history or a recontextualization of them. But it's still a little bit strange. With the spaceship and the egg. And this is some sort of like cryo sleep egg or something. But then it's breaking open on purpose. Yeah, so this is the captain, I think. But then there are these horror themes that they're playing on. I'm not sure why they're doing that. Like if this is a reference to maybe like, what's the imposter game? Everything's all egg-shaped. It's cute.
Even the tiny chicken.
So then we get to the actual gameplay. There are 2 levels and then another cutscene. So we'll just continue these. I'm not going to play through the whole thing. I just want to comment on the general principle. I like the scale nesting. It's cool that you've got a map level and then you've got individual asteroid levels. The system that they use is more like Satisfactory than it is like the other factory games. So Mindustry, Factorio is kind of the original factory game, and then Mindustry and Dyson Sphere Project and Foundry all use the same kind of belt on grid system. So for example, in Foundry, you have a grid-based system, you've got buildings, and then they have loaders and unloaders that go onto belts. And then if you want to split them, you have to put them into an explicit splitter joiner. In this case, it has a splitter joiner, so it's got 2 inputs and 2 outputs. And you can set the preference on one side or the other. So there's much more control this way. But it's much more difficult to set up automation. You can't just say, take a belt from this thing and put it in the other thing. Whereas in Satisfactory, you have explicit inputs and outputs. You can't just put the inputs and outputs wherever you want, and then your belts are direct input, so they snap to it. Here's an output of a thing, and it goes to an input of a thing. And if you want to add, you can add splitters and joiners, but they're explicit mergers or splitters. They're not just both at the same time. So in that way, I like Starbirds better because it allows you to just say, hey, here's a hub, here's a joining point, and just like join it up. You don't have to decide whether it's a splitter or a merger. Maybe it's both. Who knows? Although then the belt balancer system is nicer because you can set the input and output preference in Foundry. So that's really cool.
Do you need one of those?
I believe there is a thing you can research now in 1.1 that allows you to do input-output preference and balancing, belt balancing of things. But that, again, is a separate, it's like another separate item. Let's see if we can find it. Priority merger, there it is.
Really cool.
Yeah. So anyway, they have that, but it's a bunch of different buildings, whereas in Foundry, which I kind of like the Foundry system of being able to just have a splitter merger all at the same time. You don't have 2 different buildings, you just got one way of joining and splitting belts. But I do like the filter system in Satisfactory, where you can have a filter splitter, and a programmable filter splitter and things like that. There's no way to transfer items directly from belt to belt in Foundry. So there are advantages to each one, although there's no reason you couldn't have both, which is kind of what they have in Starbirds, where you've just got a hub and you can connect as many things up to the hub as you want and split as many things out from the hub as you want, and just, it just works. So
The thing I found most hard in that game is you can't do, like in Satisfactory, you can't make that arc thing to go over. So I
Yeah.
constantly had to be moving.
yeah, you
taking
can't
pieces
you
out
can't
and-
put belts over belts.
A lot in the rock one, because I have
Even Factorio has a way to do that, right? Factorio is 2D, and it's got the little tunnel thing. You can go underneath. So yeah, I agree. There's no way to cross tubes in Starbirds, which I think is part of the intent. I think it's intentional.
Yeah,
I think it's part of the
sure
puzzle.
that's-
They're trying to make it a tricky puzzle to solve. But that said, it is quite annoying, and there's no reason, there's no practical reason why it had to be that way, right? You could, in real life, you could definitely just oh, okay, I put a thing over a thing. You've got spaceships, you can figure out how to, put 2 tubes crossing each other without them intersecting. Put a via in circuit board terms. Anyway, so the belt system here is more like Satisfactory, where it has connections between buildings that are arbitrarily shaped, and you can pull them around and make goofy shapes with them.
That looks like a mushroom.
It kind of looks like a mushroom. And I don't know which one I like better. I do like the direct connection model, where you don't have to build loaders and unloaders. It's just, you've got things and they connect to other things, and that all works.
You don't even have to make the things. You just pull them out of you.
Yeah, exactly. They just come out of the building. So in here, you don't even have to build belts or in this case tubes. They just get produced by buildings. And in fact, that goes to so you got the production. Let's go over the detail here. So you've got buildings that produce things, and this one's producing water. And then you can send the things directly onto a launch pad where it gets sent to the station like this. Producing water, it gets sent right to the launch pad, and this just takes the water and sends it right to the station. So there's the water being sent to station. Or you can put it into processing buildings. And so in this case, the water is going into a refiner. The refiner turns the water into oxygen, and then that gets sent to the station using a tube. But you can also... They're also hard mode. What? This is a story mission, and you've got to deliver some stuff directly to this building. And so that's pretty fun. But it doesn't look like there are any... It is cool that you can see the individual maps, like from the map level, the individual asteroids from the map level. So these are chemical factories, and they take two different items and combine them together and make something. So in this case, it's making quartz out of silicon and water. And they've got a really nice wiki where it shows you all the different recipes. So an extractor produces silicon. Goop is any two incompatible resources in a chemical lab. Ash is one incompatible resource in a refiner. Water you mine, quartz, oxygen. Anyway, so there's a bunch of different things here. In this one, only quartz is fabricatable. And it can get a little tricky to fit everything on. Let's go to the third one. These don't have... It would be nice if you could spin the asteroids around in here, but it's cool that you can see them. And then there's a little cutscene for they discover something on the strange discovery thing. This is a free demo, so you can play it yourself. But spoilers for the demo of Starbirds. Here's the cutscene. So when you unearth the strange mystery object, you deliver was it uranium and then water and iron and stuff. And you open up the mystery rock, and inside is the animation there makes it look like there's a bird inside the rock, but no, it was just he's looking at it. And it's some sort of mystery levitation rock.
Ooh, and it's glowing.
A glowing levitation rock from far across the universe.
My foot's cold.
Yeah.
I don't have a silicone one.
Oh, okay. So presumably you'll be going a long ways across the universe to find out what the deal is with this rock. And then there's this one, which is kind of a procedurally generated
Whoa, that's dark.
asteroid world. But what I wanted to show is this, because it can be hard to fit everything on, and you can kind of run out of space. And they also have this item, which is the pipe hub, which I thought was a very elegant way to deal with splitters and mergers. So the pipe hub is basically just you plop it down, and then you can connect as many buildings to it as you want. So let's see, just connect this to it. So now we've got these two things going in here, but you can also connect as many outputs as you want. So this is just inputs and outputs all over the place. So you can do this, and now it's going backward through this thing and out through this thing and all kinds of nonsense. So now the chemical lab these two chemical labs are also making carbon. And then there's, yeah. So it's just silliness. Pipe hub. You can't see what's in the pipe hub or what's going through it. The metrics in the game are a little light. Maybe they'll add some later. Maybe that's intentional. But that's well, let's see. I should probably fix this. That should go off of there. This should go onto here. There we go. And I think this goes off of here. So it allows you to easily switch between outputs and output multiple things to multiple spots, or input multiple things. But it can get a little crowded like this, and that's a little bit of a challenge. Can I get the what? The Gemmies?
Gemmies.
Gemmies? What's a Gemmie?
Gem.
Those are research things. I don't need any more research. Look at all this research I've got. There's so many tech points. I'm also maxed out on credits.
There's no more. Actually, there's one more.
Nah, not much more. So it'd be nice if you could see what buildings your space station had. That'd be cool. It'd be neat if you could walk around your space station.
Or go into it.
Or go into it somehow. You can see the buildings here, but you can't view them after you've unlocked them. And you can't, like, go in and walk around it or whatever. So that's a little unoptimal. Looks like my plastic is... Oh yeah, it's because I disconnected my plastic factory. It's rebuilding up to the production level. It should get back there soon. So one of the other cool things you can do is ship materials from one place to another. So here we've got a few launch pads, and one of them is producing... This one is producing oxygen. That one is, and this one is also, yeah, this one's also producing oxygen. So we've got a couple of oxygen producing launch pads. And then if you go out on the map, you can, normally they just ship everything to the space station. But you can take that oxygen producing pad and launch it to somewhere else. So in this case, I've got it going to this asteroid, which has a landing pad on it. And the landing pad then receives oxygen from the other asteroid and distributes it, in this case, to a bunch of factories that are producing graphite and hydrocarbons and things. You can right-click to draw a straight line, which is kind of cool. The interface is a little bit janky. I'm guessing that it works better on like a touchpad, but it's a little bit janky for mouse interface. It works, but it's just a tiny bit. Could use some help, but hopefully they'll fix that too. They did just release a patch. I'm not sure what got updated, but that is it. They've got a bunch of buildings that are locked: the Crucible, Optics Factory, etc. There's a bunch of things, and there's a whole power system that's not in the demo. There's a few logistics stuff that you can do, and an ice extractor. It's also not in the demo. So there's quite a bit of stuff that's not in the demo, but you can see the feel for it. It uses the connection type instead of the grid-based belt type of connections, which I think it's a good fit, especially for their aesthetic, like the Kirksgazat. How do you pronounce it? Karksganart. Karksganart? That doesn't sound correct. Karksgazat.
Yeah, that's how.
Karksgazat. So it's a fun little game. I don't know if I would... Let's see, if I was going to change something about it. I'm not sure what exactly I would change about it. It's it's pretty well. The aesthetic is very consistent. That's great. They've got the kind of blobby vector graphic kind of style aesthetic that they use in all their stuff, and the tubes connecting things works very well for that aesthetic. It makes it make a lot of sense. It would be nice if maybe you could drag the middle of the belts. Right now you can only drag the end, and you can only drag it like forward and backward along the belt. You can't drag the middle of the belt to reposition it, which would be nice if you could do that. That'd be cool to reroute it. You also can't drop one of these onto the middle of a belt to create a split, which would be nice. That would be a nice feature. So like if I want to split this off for some reason, I have to put it here and then grab the belt and hook it up there, and then grab this, hook it up there. It'd be nice if you could just drop that in. I mean, obviously I appreciate procedural generation features, so it's cool that they've got procedurally generated stuff. It does kind of look like a bean. When you land, it generates the resources after you land, which is a little bit annoying. It would be nice if you could choose the resources before you land, or like if you could see what the resources were before you landed, so that you could select an ideal landing spot. But you can't see them. You can see what kind of resources are on it, but not where they are. I like that it's got a pretty good balance of pads to resource input. That's nice. It's 4-to-1. Yeah, I like the idea of a map and of being able to connect things on this level as well. It would be cool if you could have a splitter on this level also. All these are just either to the station or to some landing pad. It'd be cool if you could make sub-space stations, maybe. Some sort of, I don't know, logistics platform, space platform. That would be cool. Make your own asteroid, basically, that's just for logistics and processing. That'd be neat. Maybe that'll be in the full game. But, yeah, as it is, very neat little factory game. I think it is really a factory game in every sense that matters. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the full thing.